Okay, so what you can see here is I'm going through my planner and looking at the days that I would like to pull photos from my photo library. And I typically do this on my computer instead of on my phone. It just makes it a lot easier to go into the next step. So from there, I'm opening up my Silhouette software, and you'll see that I already have a template here that I work from and I've used for years. Those little sticky notes on the page actually have all the dimensions that I need for frequently used picture shapes. So I always start with the photos that are going to go on the monthlies, and I know that that box needs to be 1.3 by 1.3. So I shrink down the photo itself that I'm going to cut. I'm grabbing a square shape and I'm making it the exact measurement I want. And then I'm going to put that square on top of the photo and essentially use that to crop the photo down. I'm creating a whole bunch of them right now just to make it easier for myself as I kind of do this in a batch format. So what you'll see me is do this a couple times to crop the photo to that specific shape. I keep in mind that 1.3 by 1.3 is a pretty small space, so I try to get as close into my subjects, which are typically my little guys here, and get it as close to them as possible so that when you see the photo super small in your Hobonichi, you can still, really get a good sense of what it is. So as I'm finishing up this first set, then I'll move on to some photos that are going to be cut a little bit larger. And usually I cut these for the daily pages at 3 inches by 3 inches. So it's the same exact thing I just did, except I'm using a different size square to crop the image down. Of course, you can do this with any size that you like. I just kind of like that size that fits really nice in the right-hand side of the Hobonichi daily page. And also something fun that I've done in the past that I can show you guys another time is how I use the tools in the Silhouette software to actually cut out their image. So the line would actually cut around his head and his body, and that's really fun as well. Okay, so now I'm selecting everything that I need to cut on the software, and then you see that it's selecting it. And from there, I go ahead and run it through the printer, and then I will go to the part of actually cutting out the pictures. So you see here that I'm pulling my silhouette out. I actually have it on little rollers so that it pulls out really easily on my desk, and then I'm putting it on the paper to run it through. And the machine is now going to register the marks that are on the printer paper to know exactly where to cut those lines. So because these are just simple squares and simple shapes, it cuts super fast. And you can see here, it just runs through really quick, does the line around, and then I'm going to test it, pull it out, and make sure that it's cut exactly how I want and that the stickers are coming up really quick and easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put them all in my planner, and I do like them to be pretty straight, but I don't get too crazy about it, and I would rarely pull it up if it's not exactly perfect. So I started with the daily pages here, and then I finished by putting all my little monthlies in the squares. I love how this looks on a monthly spread.
Okay, here I am. I am back. I had to switch up my camera and get myself a treat. This is no ordinary peanut butter and jelly. This is honey roasted peanut butter, which is, I'm sorry I even discovered it because it's so good. And cherry preserves. I don't know, I have a crazy thing with cherry preserves. So I am loving this. Okay, so during that setup, I've grabbed a couple things, and basically my goal is to finish decorating after I put all these photos in, and spent a lot of time thinking about, is my planner a quote-unquote planner? Is it a memory keeper, journal? What is it? it's everything and anything, right? I think I spent too much time and energy trying to define exactly what I want this to be instead of just doing what feels good and right and functional for me. I'm 100% know that I, you know, when times get tough, I am functional and I will default to that. But otherwise, when I have the time and the energy and the will, I do really enjoy capturing memories, and particularly things that I find, and I'm sure we all find, to be very fleeting. Like things that my kids say, or, you know, just these moments that otherwise, if we don't go back and look at our billions of photos that we take, that we're never going to remember. So I like my planner to serve that purpose, and that's why I always kind of feel really comfortable in a Hobonichi. My other planners didn't do that. And, you know, I mean, if you follow me on my other Instagram channels, you'll know that I do a lot of other art. So I make a lot of mini albums and things like that. But it's not these little moments. So I make a lot of albums that are very, you know, this is a vacation or whatever. And this is just the things that happen where I'm like, oh, let me write that down really quick. And I think they're all, that's, you know, it's all a valid way of documenting and having something that you can look back on. Okay, so there's that. On this one, you'll see I don't have like a plan here. I'm just sort of doing what feels good. Sometimes I'm good with lots of white space, and then other times I like to try to fill it all up. So I will speed this up a little bit and you can see me do the rest. Guys, that is how I approach this process. I typically do this every 1 to 2 weeks, and sometimes I get super lazy and do it once a month. And if I do, that really decreases the amount of decoration and journaling and everything that I'm doing. But the goal is to try to keep up with it. We'll see what this looks like as the year progresses. But I know that from looking back at old Hobonichis, that this is what brings me the most joy as I look back on it. So hopefully we'll keep this up, but I hope you found this helpful. I know there's not a lot of tutorials out there that show exactly how you can utilize the silhouette with your Hobonichi, so maybe this will be useful to you guys. Have a good one. Bye.